listening to Media Lex Radio, WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
Views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of Lexington Community Radio or its board of directors. The views expressed are solely those of the programmers.
You are listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
Welcome everybody to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for listening to the show and thank you for tuning in to WLXU 93.9 FM. In addition to listening on the radio, you can check out our Facebook live stream at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, or you can stream the show live from the station website at at MediaLex.us to listen to us from anywhere in the entire world. I am broadcasting from the WLXU studios here at MediaLex on North Limestone. It is June the 18th, 2026. This is the hottest talk radio show in Lexington that you have it locked into. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. It is just 70-something degrees in June. I cannot believe it. When is summer supposed to be here? Well, this weekend, as a matter of fact, is the first day of summer, and I am looking forward to warmer days ahead. Folks, for the last several weeks on the show, we didn't do last week, but for the last several weeks on the show, I have been testing your knowledge. I have been asking you as an audience, are you smarter than a third grader? Are you smarter than a fourth grader, fifth grader, etc.? And I have been asking you a plethora of questions, depending on which grade that I'm talking about for that particular episode. And I have been wondering how much you guys still remember from grade school. I mean, we expect third graders, fifth graders, seventh graders to know all of this knowledge when we don't even know it ourselves. And I'm really worried about the future, folks. I've talked about this. I think that what we teach kids in school today is irrelevant. I would say 60% of what is in the curriculum in the public school system today is irrelevant. A lot of the things that they teach students, we don't even need today. So it makes me wonder, what are we actually teaching the students in school, in public school? Are we teaching them what they need to know? So that's another soapbox. But for the last several weeks, I've talked about, are you smarter than a fourth grader, fifth grader, all the way up to eighth grade? And I have been asking questions depending on the grade I'm talking about. Well, today on the show, let's continue it, folks. And I want to ask you, are you smarter than a ninth grader? Are you smarter than a ninth grader? Now, think about this. This is high school. So you have been promoted to secondary education. So, you know, those little cocky high schoolers, they think they're so smart. Well, let's see if you are just as smart as the high schooler. So let's play, are you smarter than a ninth grader? These are ninth grade level questions. Let's see how many you can get right. I will ask a question, and I will just give you a couple of seconds from wherever you're at, whether you're driving down the road, listening at home, to just say the answer out loud. And then I will rapid fire give the answer. So don't take too long to answer because I will be giving the answer. But I just want you to test yourself and ask yourself, are you smarter than a ninth grader? Okay, question one. Here we go. What part of the atom carries a negative charge? This is chemistry. That would be an electron. What is the smallest U.S. state by area? The smallest U.S. state by area is Rhode Island. What is the opposite of ancient? Modern. What is the national bird of the United States? Folks, ninth grade level questions. If you don't get this right, you shouldn't have made it past ninth grade. That would be the bald eagle. What does FBI stand for? Well, of course, that's the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We all know what FBI means, but do you know that it stands for Federal Bureau of Investigation? What year did World War II end? One of the biggest wars in American history ended in 1945. Who was known as the Maid of Orleans? They did a movie about her. We studied a lot about her in history in school, especially in the 9th grade. It was Joan of Arc. What is a group of lines in a poem called? Of course, that would be a stanza. What is the first letter of the Greek alphabet? The first letter of the Greek alphabet, folks, is Alpha. And I used to be able to say the entire Greek alphabet when I was in college. It was one of those things we had to learn when joining a fraternity. Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, Eta, Theta, Iota, Mu, Nu, Xi, Pi, Chrome, Tome, Sigma, Rho, blah, 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 blah. Close enough. I'm a little rusty. How many amendments does the U.S. Constitution currently have? 9th grade level question, folks. Can you get it? Are you smarter than a freshman? 27. What does the Statue of Liberty hold in her right hand? You see this Statue of Liberty all the time in images, and she's holding a torch in her right hand. How many bones are in the adult human body? We all have the same amount. The answer would be 206. Who purchased Alaska for the United States? The answer is William Seward. He purchased it under President Andrew Johnson. What famous gold rush began in 1848? I've had a lot of students do informative speeches on this current event right here that I'm talking about. It was the California Rush. The California Gold Rush. Who was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean? They did a movie about this woman. Hilary Swank played her. Amelia Earhart. Whatever happened to her, by the way? Her plane went down and nobody ever found it, nor her. Which U.S. state is nicknamed the Last Frontier? All states have a nickname, but which state is nicknamed the Last Frontier? That would be the great state of Alaska, the 49th state of the Union. What is the name of the current Speaker of the House? You could name every Kardashian in the family, but you couldn't answer Mike Johnson, probably, as being the current Speaker of the House. Which bird is often associated with wisdom? That would be the owl. What is the world's fastest land animal? The fastest animal on land would be a cheetah. What is the largest organ inside the human body? Not the largest organ, but the largest organ inside the human body. 9th grade level questions, folks. That would be the liver. That would be the liver. What was the name of the first satellite launched into space? Sputnik would be the correct answer there. Who was the first woman on the U.S. Supreme Court? 9th grade level question. Are you smarter than a 9th grader? Can you get the answer to that question? Because the answer is Sandra Day O'Connor. What is the deepest ocean on Earth? That would be the Pacific Ocean. How old must a person be to serve as U.S. president? I have now officially reached this age. 35 is the minimum age you have to be to run for president. What is the capital of California? And folks, please don't say Hollywood, because the correct answer is Sacramento. Just a couple of more here. Which document starts with "We the People"? That would be the Constitution. What does CIA stand for? Another abbreviation that you hear all the time, but you might not know what it stands for. But if you made it past freshman year of high school, you should know it stands for Central Intelligence Agency. And then finally, last question, what is the largest state in the U.S.? by area? The correct answer would be Alaska is the largest state in the U.S. by area. And that, folks, wraps up our game of Are You Smarter Than a Ninth Grader? How did you do? Miss Conley, I see that you joined on the show thread. I know that you teach ninth grade. I am sure that you were able to get all of those questions right. And the thing about it is a lot of people at home probably got a lot of these questions wrong. And the bulk of these people that are listening went to high school and went to ninth grade, proceeded past ninth grade, got promoted to 10th, but still is unable to answer these questions. And I'm not coming at you, folks. I deliberately put these questions on here to show you that it's not as easy as it seems. A lot of the things that we remember, a lot of the things that we learn in school, we forget. And don't just always think that kids are just messing around in school when they are learning things that you should already know. But folks, we have, and Ms. Conley says she got all of them, of course. But folks, we do have a great show ahead of you today. You are listening to Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
You are listening to Media Lex Radio, WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
MediaLex only exists in our community because of the generosity of signal boosters like Derek Feldman. Thank you for your ongoing commitment to the voice of the people. To learn how you can become a signal booster, visit medialex.us/donate. MediaLex is grateful to Founder Circle member Gloria Hansen for their generous investment in our mission, a level of exceptional giving that reflects the spirit of our founder and community champion, Deborah Hensley.
Hey, yo, Mike, would you like to ride your bike? No? You think I should take a hike? Take a hike? Wow, that was a strike right to the heart. What we just witnessed was a really important lesson. Mike's friend asked him to ride a bike, and he said no. Not good. If your friend asks you to ride a bike, you should probably say yes. This summer, ride your bike with friends, with enemies, or just by yourself. Brought to you by Live Green Lexington.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. At the top of the hour, I mentioned that summertime is almost here. Well, as a matter of fact, the first day of summer is this weekend. I believe it's Sunday, which would make the first day of summer June the 21st. This weekend, summer is finally here. A lot of people associate summer with school being out. I always did, being in school. And since I went into education, I still associate the summertime being right now. But no, it doesn't officially start until this weekend. Folks, there's so many great things about the summer. Not only do we have sunshine, but we got outdoor activities. We've got the pools open, vacations planned, people going to the beach, people driving with their windows down. Seems like everybody's in a better mood. The summer just brings great vibes. And one of the things that helps summer with the summer vibes is the music that we have in the summer. There's just something about music in the summer that just hits different. We know there's music for everything. There's music for every type of sport, music for every type of emotion, every situation that we could possibly be in. Even music that describes moods and vibes, like the summertime. And folks, there have been many songs written about the summertime. Like this one right here, Cruel Summer by Benarama. This song was released back in the 80s, and this is a great summer song because it evokes summer. But it's got a twist to it. It's about feeling lonely and overwhelmed during a hot summer. So it's got a meaning behind it. But it's got a summer vibe to it. When you hear this song, you think summertime. So I have compiled a list here of some of the best songs written about the summertime. And there's a lot. Like this one right here. This one's called Summertime. It's called Summertime by Kenny Chesney. It was released back in 2006. It's a great summer song because it celebrates everything people love about the summer. Beaches, boats, vacations, and freedom. Kenny Chesney's got them laid-back country-style vibes anyway. The lyrics of this song paints vivid images of American summertime traditions. If there is one singer besides Jimmy Buffett that evokes summertime, I believe it's Kenny Chesney. This guy has a whole album just really dedicated to the summertime. He talks about, on this particular album right here, just being at the beach, hanging out during the summertime, being young. But Kenny Chesney isn't the only one that had a great song about summer. What about Bryan Adams, who sang Summer of '69? Everybody knows this song. This song was released back in 1985. It's a nostalgia rock anthem about youth, friendship, and unforgettable memories. It's got the powerful guitar riff and sing-along chorus. It makes it a crowd favorite. This is really the ultimate soundtrack for remembering your younger years during the summer. So, let me ask you folks, do you remember the summer of '69? Or were you not old enough yet? Maybe you remember the summer of '99. Okay, of course you got Bryan Adams, but you also have DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. They released this song called Summertime back in 1991. It's a great summer song because it's a relaxed groove that reflects a hot summer afternoon. Its lyrics describes barbecues, block parties, and neighborhood gatherings, which is things that you do during the summertime. It became one of hip-hop's most beloved feel-good records of the summer. And it's a song that will always stand the test of time because it's a song about summer, a specific song written about the summer. So every summer, it's a hit. Anytime usually you've got any type of video vignette or anybody doing videos about the summer, or they're trying to find a song for a reel that depicts summertime, they like to play this behind it because this is really the summer anthem. Now, this next song on the list that I have selected, a lot of you guys might not have heard it, but it's one of my favorites. It's called Summertime by Stick Figure. Released in 2015, this is a reggae-inspired sound. It creates a beach vibe. It's a mellow rhythm, and it encourages listeners to slow down and enjoy the moment. It's telling you the summertime is a-coming. This is a great song to play right now. Right on the brink of summer, right before summer pops off. It reflects the modern surf and sun lifestyle. It's perfect for a beach day. It's perfect for a backyard hangout. It's perfect for a sunset drive in the summer. So folks, if you're looking for a summer playlist, and you're looking for a playlist with summer vibes, I would encourage you to put Stick Figures' Summertime, this song right here, on your list. But if that's not your jam, maybe Kid Rock's All Summer Long is. All Summer Long by Kid Rock was released in 2008. It blends nostalgia rock and country influences. This song recalls youthful summers filled with music, friends, and freedom. A very recognizable song by Kid Rock. This is a modern nostalgia anthem that celebrates the summers that we never forget. Of course, this is just Kid Rock singing about a great summer and about how he loves the summer. And who doesn't? A lot of people think when they hear this song, at first, they think it's going to be Lynyrd Skynyrd's Sweet Home Alabama, which he did steal the riff, but I don't like that he did that for this song, but it still is a good song. Just kind of a carefree song about summer. All right, another great song written about the summertime comes from LFO. This song is called Summer Girls. This was released back in 1999. This is pure late 90s pop fun. It's playful, it's lighthearted, it's carefree, it's a time capsule. This is a song that's singing about girls in the summertime. And how girls dress in the summer, act in the summer, how they look in the summer. It's a song about summer girls. Now, LFO was a boy group back when boy groups were a thing, back in the 90s. And they never really had many songs other than Summer Girls that people remember. But what a song they did come out with when it comes to this one right here. A great summer anthem. Some people's favorite summer song is this one. All right, I've got one more here on the list. We're talking about the best songs written about the summertime. Woo! We got Calvin Harris, Summer. Now, this is a modern summer song that's only been released over the last 3 years. So, it's always going to be something that exists in music. People are always going to be writing new music about reoccurring seasons. Summer being the number one. There's always going to be songs written about summertime. Okay, one more I said. And this one's called In the Summertime by Mungo Jerry, released in 1970. This is one of the most recognizable summer songs ever recorded. It's got that acoustic skiffle-style groove, and it feels effortless and carefree. The lyrics to this song, it celebrates sunshine, driving around, and enjoying life when the weather is warm. Yes, sir, the summertime is approaching very fast. It's pretty much, you can say it's here. Bye-bye, spring. Hello, summer. What's everybody's summer plans? Kathy on the show thread, she says you need to write a summer song. I know you can do it. I might have to do that. Actually, Miss Conley, I have been working on a short story thriller that I would love for you to read. I think it's even good enough to turn into a Netflix movie. So check it out. I'll send it your way. But I hope everybody enjoyed this segment that we did over summertime songs. If you're looking for a summertime playlist, there you go. You got yourself started there with 7 songs that I played for you. And you can add these right to your summer playlist. And there's, of course, hundreds more songs written about the summer, but those are the ones that I feel like are the best. Songs written specifically about the summer. All right, folks, we still have lots more Off the Cuff with Adam Banks coming your way. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
I'm Jay McCoy, co-host of Kentucky Writers Roundtable, and you're listening to Media Lex Radio, WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
MediaLex is grateful to Founder Circle member Gloria Hansen for their generous investment in our mission, a level of exceptional giving that reflects the spirit of our founder and community champion, Deborah Hensley.
This is Linda, the host of Proudly African, and I would like to invite you to listen to my show, Proudly African, where we talk about the beauty of Africa every Saturday at 1 p.m. on Media Lex Radio, WLXU 93.9 FM, Lexington, Kentucky.
Lexington is blessed with many beautiful parks, and it's our job to keep them clean for our community and for the wildlife that use parks too. Our new Pick Up and Play campaign is here to encourage you to take a moment before and after we play in a park to pick up.
Awesome. I will
when
send it
litter
your
isn't
way.
picked up, it makes its way into a local creek. So when you're in our parks, remember, pick up and then play. Learn more at lexingtonky.gov/pickup.
MediaLex only exists in our community because of the generosity of signal boosters like Mark Royce. Thank you for your ongoing commitment to the voice of the people. To learn how you can become a signal booster, visit medialex.us/donate.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Today's national holiday is National Fishing Day, which is a day that takes place every June 18th, and it invites all fish lovers, people who love the thrill of fishing. This is your day to celebrate. Never been a big fan of fishing. I think, honestly, it's one of the stupidest concepts ever invented that people enjoy. You just throw a stick out in the water and wait for a bite. That's pretty much it. That's all she wrote. And people can do it for hours. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoy a fishing trip every now and again. I do. I enjoy getting together with the boys, taking a fishing, trip. Not a trip where it's a couple of days. Maybe go fishing for an hour or two and then call it a day. But as far as going out to the water every single day and sitting there and fishing, no, never enjoyed it as a kid. I grew up around a creek. I grew up fishing, but it's not something that I enjoyed enough to do it all of the time. Now, that doesn't mean my friends didn't enjoy it, but there were times that I didn't hang out with a lot of my friends because all they wanted to do was fish. And it's just something that I did not find interesting. But that doesn't mean that there are not millions that find fishing interesting, and why not? Fishing is a very therapeutic thing. It's a thing that you can do to get your mind off of things. Everybody needs a vice. Everybody needs something that they can do to get their mind in tranquil, to get their mind off of the world, to get their mind off of things, and to relax. Everybody needs that, and everybody's got their thing, and sometimes fishing is that thing for people. So on National Fishing Day, which is today, it's the perfect midweek opportunity to take a break and enjoy the serenity of the water. Get out on the water. Take a little fishing trip. When I say trip, I'm not talking about going on a vacation. Just go out to the pond for a little while. Fish for about 30 minutes. Millions of Americans enjoy fishing. It says here that according to recent data, approximately 52.4 million Americans participated in fishing activities in 2025, highlighting its popularity as one of the most popular outdoor pastimes in the world. Unbelievable. See, I am the minority, but I am not afraid to say that I'm in the minority. Not afraid of all. Don't take no sweat off my back to get on the air and say that I don't enjoy fishing. I just don't. I love eating a good fish. I love a good fishing trip every now and again, but not all the time. It says here that the economic impact of recreational fishing is substantial to the U.S. economy. It says that in 2025, the fishing industry generated over $50 billion. Yes, B with a billion with a B in retail sales, supporting hundreds of thousands of jobs across the U.S. in various sectors from manufacturing to tourism. It says that fishing plays a crucial role in conservation by funding efforts through license sales and excise taxes on gear. It says that these funds directly support habitat restoration, fisheries management, and research that ensures healthy aquatic ecosystems for future generations. So fishing is good, and it's good that people do that because it takes care of the little fishies. Paying our taxes, paying for a fishing license, make sure that we have a healthy pond system for our fish to live in, water, clean water for our fish to swim in. That's important. So thank God for people that are fish lovers and that love to go out and fish. Fish are fascinating. Here are some interesting facts about fish. It says that there are more than 25,000 fish species on Earth. The brittle's mouth is about the size of a small minnow. It says here that the oldest fish-like animals had mouths, but their evolution stopped before the development of biting jaws. It says that the Acadian redfish is known as the fish that lived the longest. 40 years, as a matter of fact. It says that fishes do, in fact, sleep. They rest by floating in one place, wedging in mud or coral, and hiding in their nests. So there you go. Those are some fun facts about fishing. So why do we love National Fishing Day? Well, it's a great way to bond. Whenever you take a fishing trip with somebody, it forces you to have conversation. It's a forced shared experience. So there tends to be some type of bonding that will happen when you go fishing with somebody. It's a shared experience that you do with somebody. And sometimes you have some of the best conversations on a fishing trip while you are fishing. And maybe that's what it's all about. Maybe I don't appreciate the art of what fishing is supposed to be about. It's a form of meditation. And it's a challenge too. It's not as easy as what it seems, right? Throwing the stick in the water, waiting for a bite. Yeah, that sounds easy. And the concept, that's pretty much the concept. But it's a lot harder than what it sounds. That's why people spend hours. People spend hundreds of dollars trying to catch a fish because sometimes it's hard. You can be out on the water all day and not catch a thing. Have all the material, all the bait, all the money in the world on this fishing trip and still not be able to catch a bite. Harder than what it looks. So God bless all of those who love fishing, keeping our little fishies safe. And happy National Fish Day to everybody. All right, folks, we have one more segment to go. You are listening to Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
MediaLex is grateful to Founder Circle member Tracy Whitley for their generous investment in our mission, a level of exceptional giving that reflects the spirit of our founder and community champion, Deborah Hensley.
At RadioLex, we want to keep our community safe.
Per the ACLU, if the police or ICE are at your home, stay calm and keep the door closed. Opening the door does not give them permission to come inside, but it is safer to speak to ICE through the door.
You have the right to remain silent even if the officer has a warrant.
You do not have to let police or immigration agents into your home unless they have certain kinds of warrants.
If police have an arrest warrant, they are legally allowed to enter the home of the person on the warrant if they believe that person is inside. But a warrant of removal/deportation form I-205 does not allow officers to enter a home without consent.
Radio Lex is committed to providing trustworthy information to our community.
For more information, visit radiolex.us or aclu.org.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Last segment of the hour. The New York Knicks are the 2026 World NBA Champions. Game 5 wrapped up with the Knicks defeating the Spurs 94-90. When we got off the air last, we still had Game 5 to play. Games 1 through 4 was played. We reviewed those. But Game 5 took place after we were off the air, and that is the only game that the Knicks needed to defeat the Spurs in this series. And they ended up defeating the Spurs 4-1 to capture their first NBA title since 1973. The series they came back from was a double-digit deficit to win. The 2026 NBA Finals MVP was Jalen Brunson. He led New York Knicks to their first championship in 53 years, folks. And it was the clear choice to select him as the Finals MVP after averaging 32.6 points per game in the series. That's unbelievable. It's great. The Knicks-Spurs Finals averaged 20.6 million viewers, making it the most watched NBA Finals in the last 28 years. So it shows that the NBA Finals is a television phenomenon. People still watch the NBA Finals. There's so many NBA games on all year long. So really, it's hard to see how much the fan base shows out for the NBA because it's so spread out. But they really show up when it matters. During the NBA Finals, the ratings don't lie. It says here that the Knicks' 4 wins came by 1 point in the first game, 1 point in their second win, and 4 points in their third win. The Knicks essentially brought half of Hollywood to Texas for the clincher. There was so many people at the finals game in Game 5. You had Timothy Chalamet there. You had Spike Lee. You had Ben Stiller, Tracy Morgan, Sydney Sweeney. You had the guy from Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, the guy that played Gus. You had Prince Harry, who attended the NBA Finals as a guest from Commissioner Adam Silver. He was Adam Silver's personal guest, was Prince Harry. So very interesting amount of celebrity showing out for that game. Now, it's got a very cool coaching storyline, too. The coaching storyline, it says here that Mike Brown won a championship in his very first season coaching New York. So, and then here he is coaching and not able to get another championship, which is crazy. It says here that he completed one of the quickest turnarounds in NBA history. After the Knicks' historic 29 comeback in Game 4, players repeatedly credited Brown for keeping the locker room composed rather than panicking. So, yeah, man, I tell you, the coaches, too, were on fire, and usually you don't see that during a NBA game. You just don't. Usually you see it during a college game, but not NBA. It's all about the players, but the coaches were on fire. The third championship for New York. It seems like that New York was kind of like the butt of the joke in the NBA for a long time, having so many accolades, but yet so long since they had won a championship. But now they're relevant again. And I think of teams that haven't won championships in forever. And when is that ever going to happen? When is our moment going to come? I think about the Cincinnati Reds. When's the last time they won a championship? 1990. Are they irrelevant? Of course. Will they be irrelevant in baseball? No, never. They're the Cincinnati Reds. But just in normal, everyday sports talk, of course they're irrelevant. When are they going to have that moment like the Knicks finally got? Finally. Since the 70s. I mean, think about the Cubs. It was the early 1900s. And then 5 or 6 years ago, they've won 2 in the last 10 years. So eventually it all comes around in sports. You eventually get your moment. So congratulations to the Knicks and all the Knicks fans. The Knicks aggravate me with all their celebrity fans, seeing Timothée Chalamet out there, Taylor Swift. I'm not about all that. But I would be the same way if I was a celebrity and Kentucky had an NBA fan. I would be on the sideline. I would always be decked out in my gear, just like Timothée Chalamet was. So I can't fault him for that. But folks, this seems like a great place to take Off the Cuff's Song of the Week. And how about my brother last week coming on the show, having a great performance live on the air. He wouldn't let me play his song last week on the show. And you know what? I was going to play him this week on the show, but I don't want him to get mad at me. And I swear, I think he would get mad at me if I played him on the show this week. So I'm not going to do that, folks. But since it is summertime, how about just a little summertime music, folks? How about a little stick figure with Summertime? And we'll be back after the song.
Yeah, summertime is coming.
Hey, Elijah, see, I kind of had a feeling. I didn't even know you were watching. But I almost played you, but I was like, no, I'm not going to do that to him. Yes, Miss Conley. And Elijah, well, me and Elijah love you, Miss Conley. It's crazy that you taught me and him. Because when I had you, Miss Conley, as a teacher, my brother was just born. I mean, he was just a little baby. Tomorrow is Juneteenth, which is the newest holiday in the United States. It became a holiday officially in 2021 when Joe Biden signed it into law. So tomorrow does mark just the the 5th Juneteenth celebrated right here in America. Today is, of course, June the 18th. If your birthday is today, happy birthday. You celebrate a birthday, or you share a birthday, rather, with Paul McCartney, Blake Shelton, and Venus Williams. On this day in history, The Truman Show premieres back in 1998. And also, it says here that June 18th is often remembered for the dramatic end of Napoleon's reign at Waterloo. The phrase, meeting your Waterloo, entered English as a way of describing a person's decisive or ultimate defeat, inspired by the battle fought on this date back in 1815. And folks, that pretty much wraps up another episode of Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. If you liked what you heard today, you'll probably like all of our previous episodes. We archive them all on podcast. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast, or wherever you stream your podcast. You can follow the show on social media at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. You can follow me, the show host, on social media at The Adam Banks. We release new episodes every Thursday from 4 to 5 right here on WLXU 93.9 FM, which means we will be back same time, same place. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the King of Radio, and this is Off the Cuff. I'll catch you down the road. Thank you, guys. See you later. I'll send that over, Miss Conley.